Translation. Men of small intelligence worships the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Translation with repetition. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods. Their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. But my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Some commenters on the Gita say that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated, just as a worshipper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of the demigod, the moon, achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. It's not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the supreme personality of Godhead. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to different planets in the material world. But the devotees of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of the personality of Godhead. Here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end could be achieved by worshipping them. However, worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent because they don't know to what part of the body food must be supplied. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very sanguine. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or eyes? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. And in their ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate God and a competitor of the Supreme Lord. Not only are demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord, the Kshatriyas are the arms, etc. And that all serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches. The results achieved by the demigods when in action are perishable because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, and the worshippers are all perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshipping demigods are perishable. And therefore, such worship is performed by the less intelligent living entity. Because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness in devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, his favor is unlimited, his mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotees is unlimited. Thus ends the translation of Bhaktivedanta. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatavine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srinivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, as we are discussing in this section of Bhagavad Gita, so this section of Bhagavad Gita is talking about uh, worship of demigods. So, as we have been saying in the last couple of verses, we discuss who worships demigods. So, those whose greater jnana, whose intelligence is stolen, or whose intelligence whose mind is filled with material desires. So, those individuals whose desires are filled with material desires, they tend to worship demigods. And we also saw how that the faith that one achieves uh, to worship the demigods is actually made steady, achala, by the Supreme Lord Himself. So we can see that even the worship of the demigods is not is facilitated by the Lord because the individual living entity wants them. So without the Supreme Lord's mercy, even a living entity cannot even worship the demigod. Furthermore, it is said that the benefits that one receives from the worship of the demigods is actually the benefit which are provided by the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the one who makes the faith steady. He is the one who actually gives the benefits to the worshipper of the demigods. And in this today's verse, there is much more specific discussion about what kind of results one achieves when one worships demigods, and how is that different from worshiping the Supreme Lord. So here it's being said, there are a couple of very important words that have been used in this verse. One of them is Alpha Medasam. So Medasam means intelligence, one who is equipped with sufficient intelligence. Alpha Medasam means one who has less intelligence or small intelligence, as Prabhupada is translating here, of those of small intelligence. So this is very interesting word, Alpha Medasam, the one who has got less intelligence. Now, as we discussed a few weeks ago, what is intelligence? Prabhupada uses in different places and defines intelligence in different ways. It is important to recognize this, that who is said to be very intelligent? What is the criteria by which one can say that someone is actually intelligent? And what is the criteria by which we can say someone is not very intelligent? So usually in the material world, someone who knows how to do programming can solve some material problems very quickly, or one is able to learn few things, material skills very quickly, may be called as a person of intelligence. But according to the Vedic knowledge, according to scriptures, and as Prabhupada described, intelligence has much finer computation. So Prabhupada says that one of the criteria, Prabhupada defines intelligence in many, many ways. One definition that Prabhupada uses, intelligence means one who knows about spiritual world. So there are so many things people know in the material world, and they may think they're very intelligent. Just like the students at different universities, they may be able to learn a few things very quickly. But according to this criteria, that intelligence means to know spiritual world. That may be actually missing. So Prabhupada gives this very nice analogy, so that helps us understand what is less intelligence and what is actual intelligence or sufficient intelligence. So Prabhupada gives this example. Imagine if there's a place where there is a constant danger, or a place which is filled with anxiety. Just like today we see there are different calamities going all over the world. Some are man-made, some are natural disasters. So we can see that immediately when there is war, we see people saying, oh, there are millions of refugees traveling from this country to another country. Why are they traveling? Because they're recognizing that this place is not safe. This place is filled with danger. Because this place is filled with danger, they're using their intelligence and they're trying to go to a place where there's less or no danger. Just like when we go for book distribution in the Worcester, we see hundreds of people from Afghanistan who landed here. So they boarded the plane thinking that by coming here to Worcester, they will have more safety. So people want to try different kinds of efforts so that they can reach a safe place. Imagine someone goes to a place which is not actually fully safe, but only partially safe. So what would one call such a person? One would call such a person as a person of small intelligence. He is recognizing some danger, but he is not able to really find a solution which is completely free from all dangers. Therefore, his solution, the result that a man of small intelligence is kind of achieving, is that he is going to another place which is also filled with danger, but a little lesser than previous danger. But in general, the danger still persists. But a man of intelligence will find a place where there is actually no danger or there is no anxiety. And Prabhupada says that a person who is actually really intelligent will recognize that this material world is always filled with material anxiety. Padam, padam, yet padam. There's always a step of danger. At every moment, there is a step of danger. Just like we talk with someone, we do not know what danger can come. We are going in the car, we do not know what danger can come. We do not know when the economy will collapse. We do not know when gas prices can go up. We do not know what is going to happen tomorrow. There is always danger. So Prabhupada says that one who is actually intelligent, he knows that the spiritual world, the spiritual planets, the Vaikuntha planets, Vrindavan, is the place which is free, Vaikuntha, the place which is free from evil, which is free from constant danger. That he recognizes, that he understands. And then he makes that as a destination of his life. And therefore, Prabhupada says that this person recognizes the dangers of life, struggles of existence, and finds a solution to this most basic problem of life. He is said to be intelligent. In other place, Prabhupada says, just to, in other words, unless one is not Krishna conscious, one cannot be called an intelligent person. Because unless one is not Krishna conscious, one cannot understand about the spiritual planets, one cannot understand about the spiritual world. And it is also said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna ek bhajan se bada chatura. The one who actually worships Krishna, one who actually comes to understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, and one must surrender unto him, worship him, is actually said to be very intelligent. Similarly, Prabhupada goes on to say that one who is intelligent is inquisitive about real goal of life. Just like these are all similar terms, but Prabhupada is using different contexts and different conversations, is giving different examples of reaching the real destination, the real goal of life. So one who understands the spiritual world, one who worships Krishna, they're all meant to reach to an ultimate destination, the real goal of life, the perfection of life. And that is what is also being mentioned by Supreme Lord Krishna here, that Mad Bhakta Yanti Mamati. So one who has got intelligence will recognize what is that is the real goal of life. Where is that I'm supposed to actually end up? In the end, what is that actually matters? We do so many things, but in the end, there are only few things that matter. Just like sometimes we do a lot of festivals, a lot of things, but sometimes when we see after the festival, in the end, what did we actually do? Oh, we see, oh, did I miss this important thing? And all that effort is of little value. It's not of full value. But when we do, in the end, what actually matters, if that really comes out very well, then even though there are some other things that missed here and there, we see, yes, still the festival is good. So, in the end, what actually matters? The destination, the result. That is how one can actually achieve that end goal. That is, one who understands that is it. One other example that Prabhupada says that one who can use his reasoning very well, one who understands. Other example Prabhupada gives is that one who can understand the active principle behind everything. Just like a child recognizes that a car is going, and he sees that the car is moving automatically. But behind the car is the person who is driving the vehicle. There has to be a touch of the spirit, of the consciousness for the matter to move. Similarly, this material world is functioning. There has to be a touch of the spirit and that of the Supreme Spirit. So one who recognizes that the Supreme Spirit is behind, is the active principle behind the functioning of this entire universe, of all the activities that are happening, then Prabhupada says that one can consider to be intelligent. And we also know that according to Srimad Bhagavatam, who is said to be Sumedasa. As we saw, Alpa Medasam, there is Medasam, and there is Sumedasam, who is very, very intelligent. Who is that who is very intelligent? He is very intelligent, who understands that the way to worship the Supreme Lord in the stage of Kali Yuga is first Kirtana. Recognize and Kirtana Praya, Rajanti Sumedasa. So that sacrifice by which the Supreme Lord is actually pleased in the stage of Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtana. So when one has got this sufficient intelligence, then one recognizes that the prime way to please the Supreme Lord, the prime way to worship the Supreme Lord is by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So one who has completely understood this principle, as we were also hearing a couple of days ago about the institutional history of ISKCON and how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj has made this point so prominent that simply by chanting, by performing Nama Sankirtana, one can attain the highest perfection of devotional life. Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. All victory, all glories to the chanting of the Lord's holy name. It is in itself sufficient enough to take one to the highest perfection. And this is the method that is recommended by Lord Krishna. And we saw in the other verse that was mentioned the other day, if one has complete faith and worships the lotus feet of Lord Sundara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then one can understand the glories of Srimati Radharani, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So this faith in Harinam Sankirtana, one was called, is said to be Sumedasa, one was called highest intelligence. Because simply by doing that, one may not be very scholarly, one may not be having some PhD, masters. These days, intelligence means people think, how can I get some good university? How can I get some more money? How can I cheat someone and get some promotion? Now, people think this is intelligence. People try to use all their intelligence to do some very small things, not recognizing what's the highest benefit of what is the highest goal that one has to obtain by using one's intelligence. So, anyways, we'll discuss a few more things about the idea of intelligence. So, this is a very important word, alpha. And in this context, as we said, people whose intelligence is small, they worship the demigods. That means that to understand who is the Supreme Lord also requires intelligence. It is not very easy to understand who is the Supreme Lord. But it is easily possible. Prabhupada used the example of someone seeing a constable in the street and thinking that person directing the crowd, and he thinks, oh, he's directing the entire crowd here. So he must be the supreme person here in the city. So similarly, one with less intelligence may think that demigods are the supreme. Another place Prabhupada says, another meaning of the word intelligence means, Prabhupada says that one who is intelligent is one who takes knowledge from the person who is intelligent. So people are also have this tendency to cheat, and therefore they also try to look for a person who gives something very cheap. And therefore, especially in the Kali Yuga, as we see, people are misguided because the age of Kali Yuga is such that there are leaders who will pose themselves as leaders, but they are actually cheaters. And also, people who are following them are also in some way trying to cheat. And therefore, they both come together and are misguided. Large mass of misguided. But it requires some intelligence to recognize from whom should I actually acquire knowledge. Otherwise, people may consider something, someone, or impersonal form, or nothingness, voidness as this thing. And that's how you can see how millions and millions of people are just driven by some different conception of the Supreme, but not the conception of Supreme Lord Krishna as Supreme. So this is all because of less intelligence or small intelligence. Now, what happens if people worship someone else? It's like today someone is celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi, someone is celebrating some other festival of some other devatas. So people may say, what is your problem? Why are you imposing upon us something? Well, it is not some artificial imposition, but here Lord Krishna is saying practical reasons why, what happens if you worship demigods. So here it has been said, Antavat to Phalam. So, Tesham, of those who worship the demigods, the result that they obtain, the Tesham, those people, those men who have less intelligence or small intelligence, they worship the demigods. And what do they get in return? The phalam, the fruit that they get in return, is Antavat. So, Prabhupada is translating this Antavat as limited and temporary. So this is another important word. So maybe before that we will look into the word phalam, the fruits. So everyone is interested in fruits. Who does not want fruit? Everyone who plants a tree, plants a seed, so as to reap the fruit. Everyone performs an action so that one gets a fruit. So every action we see that people are trying different ways so that I can reap the highest fruit. People are working hard so that they can get the best result. So fruit is something everyone is interested in. But imagine if the fruit is not, there are different kinds of fruits one can obtain. And there are different kinds of benefits of having different fruits. But here, the fruits means the results, and the results that are obtained. If they are permanent and everlasting, then that is very nice. But if the fruits only come for a very short time, the results are very temporary. They come for a very short time. You put so much hard work, and there is a little gain, and that gain is also very temporary, and it does not extend. The gain is not extending always. So therefore, it is not very intelligent to do something which gives only temporary benefit. That's why people try to always plan, where can I invest my money where there is an extended guarantee of benefit. Therefore, people think, oh, if I put in the bank, every month I get return. I get 2%, 3%, 4%. Why do I put there? Because every month I get the fruit. I just put there and there is benefit every month. But someone says, you give me the money, I'll just give you one time some money. And people think, oh no, this is not wise thing. So people are always thinking, where is the highest benefit? So the fruit that one achieves by worshiping the gods is limited and temporary. But there's another kind of fruit that is obtainable, that is unlimited and eternal. So where does one achieve that kind of fruits? And the fruit, which is actually very tasty. The word phalam is again used in another place. Nikama kalpataro galitam phalam. So there the fruit is the word natural fruit. Kalitam Phalam, ripened fruit. The fruit, there are different kinds of fruits. We say kacha pakka or we can also see if you go to Whole Foods, we see different kinds of bananas. There are green banana, slightly green banana, there is yellow banana, there is dark yellow banana, and there's dotted bananas. There are different shades of ripening. But similarly, there are different shades of mangoes which can be ripened. But the essence of those ripened fruit, so Nigama Kalpataro, Galitam Phalam, Sukhamukal Amruta Drava Samyutam, Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya. But there's fruit, another kind of fruit that is being talked about, the which is fully ripened. And Amruta Drava Samyutam. And it is in semi-solid form. So if you imagine the fruit which is ripened is very tasty, the juice of such ripened fruit is even more tastier. And he said that this Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit, is the essence of all the Vedic literature, and it is compared to the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. And how is it? The Kalpataro is like the desired tree. So we get the highest benefit simply by following, by patiently and attentively, sincerely reading Srimad Bhagavatam. One gets fruit which is of highest nectar, which is which can be relished by people who are liberated and even those who are trying to become liberated. So it is relishable for everyone, and it is always relishable. So similarly, so this transcendental literature of Srimad Bhagavatam is that fruit which gives unlimited and eternal benefit. The fruit is such, the results of hearing and particularly listening to Srimad Bhagavatam is unlimited and eternal. Similarly, as we see the Shikshastram prayer of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he says, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. So the happiness that one derives when one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like an ever-increasing ocean. The benefit of chanting is not limited. It is not that some happiness has been taken out of this, the quantity of happiness that one can derive is reduced. Now, the fruit, the phalam that is obtained by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The more you take happiness, the ocean is still increasing. The ocean, if you take something from the ocean, it immediately, even if one takes some water out of the ocean, there is no decrease in the quantity of ocean because the ocean is so huge. But imagine an ocean which is ever increasing. You take, still it is increasing, ever increasing. So whatever you take, there is still so much remaining. So the people who are intelligent want such kind of happiness, which is ever increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Not only once that you can take, every step you can take that benefit. So it is not limited, neither temporary. So one side there is temporary benefits, and on the other side there are eternal benefits, unlimited benefits. So people who are intelligent recognize. Furthermore, Lord is saying here, Deva Yajo Yanti. So one who worships the demigods, they go to the planets of the demigods. Just like we have different prime ministers or presidents, each governing a country. Similarly, the different demigods, the sun god has his own planet, Indra, Chandra, like this, everyone has different planet. And based upon the worship, one goes to such different planets. But the Lord says that any planet one goes in this material world, one cannot obtain complete freedom from material problems. The problems of birth, death, old age still remains as long as one is in the material world. So as demigods, they're also part of this material world. They are the administrators helping the Supreme Lord in governing this material manifestation. So as they're part of this material world, either they are completely free from the four problems of birth, death, old age, and disease. Although their lifespan is higher, they have higher facilities of enjoyment. Similarly, a living entity may go to such higher planetary systems and have an extended period of life, an extended sense of happiness, but it is not free from the struggle for existence completely. Therefore, anyone who is intelligent recognizes this is not permanent happiness. This is not permanent protection. This is not permanent shelter. And the benefits are not unlimited. Therefore, one recognizes, oh, I need to find there must be another place. And that has been said here that Madhavta Yanti Maha. So therefore, the devotees of the Lord on the right hand, they reach the Supreme Lord's planet, the Vaikuntha or the Golok Vrindavan planets, the spiritual world, which are all free from four problems of material life, birth, death, old age, and disease. So, unless one is not very intelligent, unless one does not come in shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord, actually one's intelligence is not very sharp. Because the goal that one is trying to achieve by all one's endeavors is so limited. Just like the other day I was in conversation. So most often or not, we are all so short-sighted. So much short-sighted that we want some immediate temporary benefit. In this pursuit of immediate temporary benefit, we forget the real ultimate benefit. So especially there is a tendency, for example, if we call some students or someone to come, especially we see this even more so in Indians, that can you please come to our temple? So as soon as we tell, can you please come to temple, the person starts calculating, will you take me from the airport? Will you drop me back to the airport? Or what will you do for me? Will you book a cab for me? So the benefit is the people are thinking, oh, I will lose $10, $30. I need to pay to go to the temple. What is the shortcut way that I can find to avoid that money? So people think by doing this, I've done something great. I've saved some money. But people do not recognize that in this process of saving some $10, $20, they do not recognize what mercy they could receive by the mercy of the devotees, by coming and taking darshan of the Lord, of Srila Prabhupada. They do not recognize. They do not see value in it. And therefore, they all calculate material. Similarly, in different aspects of our life, we all calculate very materially. We think, oh, I'm doing this service, I'm worshipping the Lord, I'm making this donation, so what is the benefit back to me? If the benefit is missing, immediately there is agitation. Because the idea of the result means I need some immediate benefit. The benefit of devotional service is not seen. Actually, there is a wonderful purport Srila Prabhupada writes in 5th canto, 18th chapter, and text number 22. It's a long purport, but I'll just read a small portion of it. So Prabhupada writes, I'll read the longer section of it. Okay. The material opulences a person obtains by offering prayers to the goddess Durga annually. So Prabhupada writes in this purport that sometimes the materialist also gets benefits. They also become rich. So Prabhupada says, actually the richness of so-called materialists comes because of the benediction from Durga, goddess Durga. And these are temporary. And Prabhupada says then, quotes this verse, as described in Bhagavad Gita 7.23, Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpameyasam. Men of meager intelligence desire temporary happiness. And then Prabhupada gives a wonderful example. Prabhupada is saying something very, very significant here. Prabhupada is saying, we have actually seen that one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura wanted to enjoy the property of the spiritual master. So Prabhupada is saying, one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura wanted to enjoy the property of the spiritual master. And the spiritual master, being merciful toward him, gave him the temporary property, but not the power to preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. You see, it is very striking. So here is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as we are singing the song, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Satishuddha Priyati. Krishna Sevaya Jara Tulanani. So one whose devotional service is Prabhupada's writing is uncomparable. Who has done so much service to Supreme Lord, and who is so dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, the pure spiritual master, the pure devotee of the Lord is present, and someone is deciding, can I enjoy the property of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj? And Prabhupada is writing, the spiritual master, being merciful toward him, gave him the temporary property. Now, the disciple desired, and the pure devotee gave him something, but in this process, what did he lose? The another meaning of intelligence Prabhupada uses is that to see both the gain and the loss. So usually it is very difficult. People cannot see what is the gain and what is the loss. They can only see one side, one aspect of it, but to see both simultaneously is not so easy. So what did he lose in the process of trying to gain some material property, material property? He lost the power to preach the wealth, but the Lord Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj gave him the opportunity, the temporary property, but not the power to preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. This is very, very special. If we are looking for something small through devotional service, through serving spiritual master, through serving the lordships, we are thinking, oh, let me get something small immediately. Maybe my children should go to some good school, or maybe I should get some promotion, or maybe I should save some $150 somewhere or other. If that is the intention behind doing devotional service, maybe that is obtainable. That may not be so difficult. But one may miss out something even much more larger. So this idea of enjoying, this idea of taking should be given up. Because we do not know what we should actually take. When we ask, we want to take something, we are taking very, very something insignificant, which is worthless, which is so temporary and so limited. We ask for such things. Whereas what Guru and Krishna wants to give us is something unimaginable. We cannot even think of that. But being Alphamedasa, we are always eager, we offer our prayers in such a way, we desire in such a way that by serving your Prabhupada and Shri, let me get some temporary immediate benefits. But on the other hand, Prabhupada writes next, that special mercy of the power to preach is given to a devotee who does not want anything material from his spiritual master, but wants to only serve him. So who gets that special mercy, the power to preach, is given to a devotee who does not want anything material. So when we do devotional service, we must also be very careful not to ask for something antavattu phalam, to ask for some immediate gain. No, that should not be the criteria. The moment we are asking something material, something limited, we are restricting the mercy of Guru and Krishna. We are also medicine, we are becoming people of small intelligence. And then we actually miss out seeing the real mercy, seeing the real mercy of Guru and Krishna. And then, because we do not have the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we do not develop faith. Because we do not develop faith, we move around in that pool of material life, spiritual life, partly here, partly there. But here Prabhupada is saying that special mercy is given for one who does not want anything material from his spiritual master, and there is one more criteria. The criteria is one but wants to only serve him. So this is spiritual life. In the material world, the principle people think is that unless I don't pull out from him, I will not get it. Unless I will not exploit from him, I will not get it. But in spiritual life, you cannot take the mercy. You cannot. It has to be given. And how one receives something when one is able to give something? So unless one is not purely willing to just serve for the pleasure of Shri Guru and Gauranga, one cannot receive the highest mercy, what they want to award. So this is very important principle, and Prabhupada goes on to quote the example of Ravana as how he tried to steal Mother Sita, but he could not actually steal Mother Sita, it was Chaya Sita. So in any case, the tendency to exploit, the tendency to take, wherever there is some benefit, let me squeeze. This mentality should be given up. Especially the temple. Oh, there is temple. Let me exploit something. A temple, so let me take something from here. Anyway, you have made food for so many people, let me take some more. Anyway, it's going to waste, so give me. So the different idea, anyway, this is something that no one is using a temple, let me take to my home. So this idea that I want to exploit, yes, maybe by the mercy of devotees and Prabhupada, you may get that thing. But you may miss something bigger. So it is very important. What are we seeking? Even in devotional life, must be careful that we do not seek desire for Antavartu Phalam. And Prabhupada, as we know the story, this past time in Nellore, when Prabhupada was traveling by train, actually the devotees booked first class apartment so that at least Prabhupada would not be disturbed by other people. But as Lord Krishna Maharaj, Harishori, and Sutakriti were there with Prabhupada, and they were making sure that Prabhupada is not disturbed, Prabhupada is comfortable in the train. But as soon as Lord Krishna told that he opened the door and he went to do something, Lord Krishna Maharaj, and there were three people who were standing outside waiting to get the darshan of Prabhupada. Somehow or other, they were trying to prevent them from going inside, but somehow when Lord Krishna Maharaj went, and somehow they could penetrate inside. And as soon as they penetrate inside, they want some blessings. So they offer obeisance to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada says, what do you want? Someone says, I want to be cured of this disease, I want to be cured of that disease, or so on and so forth. And Prabhupada calls that people who give blessings to these kind of people as Ashirvad Maharaj. So people come to get some temporary benefit. They do not know what should they ask a sadhu. And just like someone comes and asks for something for blessing, and people will do like this or something they will do, and people will think, oh, this is a real blessing, sadhu has given me like this task to do. Oh, I'm now getting some temporary benefit. Without any exchange of transcendental knowledge, without any understanding of how to surrender to the spiritual master, without such endeavor, just going to meet a sadhu does not really justify. And then Prabhupada says, I cannot bless you what you're asking, but I can bless you like this. I can make you shave in it and make devotees like them. If you want that kind of mercy, I can give you. So this is the special mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that he never wanted his disciples to get Antavartu Phalam, benefits which are limited and temporary. And therefore Prabhupada is very, very careful. Prabhupada has given all his books so that we do not develop those Antavartu Phalam desires we are already carrying. So Prabhupada has written all this for us so that we ask what we should actually ask. That is only devotional service. Only idea to give. Just like Sudama, he did not go and ask something. Just like if you are there, you will go and ask, oh, the Supreme Lord, there is some big person. Even if there's a big person, will see, oh, I'll do some service to you, I'll give you something. Can you give me something in the return while going back? So then we get something very limited. This is mercy of the Lord, blessings of the Lord, as the Brahma receives. And there's nothing else one ever wants. So, anyways, it said here that rendering devotional service, by rendering devotional service to Supreme Lord, one can reach back to Supreme Lord's planet. So, this idea of only serving, only giving should be ingrained in us. And by that, we will receive the phala, which is eternal and unlimited. Otherwise, by our own alpha limited intelligence, we are hindering and not receiving the ultimate benefit of rendering devotional service to a pure devotee and should be permanent. I'll stop here and see if there are any questions or comments. If there are no questions or comments, we'll stop here. Kantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you for joining.